Before going any further, I want to stop and congratulate you for making it through this course. You've spent about 10 hours with me now learning the ins and outs of Photoshop for composite photography, and that is a huge accomplishment. This is a very complex and difficult tool to master. And although you may feel like you don't have a strong grasp on it, you know enough to move forward on your own and practice and practice and practice to get better and better with this tool. Now, it's important to note that being good at Photoshop doesn't mean you will find success as an artist. So the next videos for this last section in the course are arguably the most important because we are going to learn how to apply Photoshop to your art so that you can use it as a tool to be a successful artist instead of being successful at Photoshop, which in itself doesn't really mean anything, right? You can be as good as possible with any tool and not be a successful craftsman or artist because you need to take now yourself, your personality, your art, and put it into Photoshop and allow it to work for you to make your art. So before we move forward, I want to stop and show you what I mean by this, and we're going to look at 3 different artists now, as well as an additional tool you can find online for discovering new art and new inspiration for your art. So let's take a look now on the computer. The first artist I want to show you is named Karen Jurzik, and she is a photographer who does really cool, vibrant, but somewhat abstract imagery. And if you look at these images, the first thought in my head isn't necessarily, wow, Photoshop, right? It's, oh, art, there's meaning to this. It's abstract, it's visually stunning, it grabs my attention. And through all of these photographic examples, you can see this artist's personality. I don't know anything about this artist other than their website, and I'm absolutely in love with their work. So if you look through here, you see that all of these images are clearly recognizable as Karen Jurzik, right? Even though the images are different from one another, they're unified by what I'm guessing are just this artist's personality. And it's so cool to see that so professionally and well done. Let's take a look at another artist. This is Alex Belko, who does really stunning images that are a little bit more easily identified as photoshopped work. If we look at this collection, it's called Internal Portraits. You can see that this isn't captured alone in a camera, right? The Alex Belko is creating images that could not exist in real life. And they're really beautiful. It's almost like looking at a painting, right? You can tell that Alex Belko had an idea in their head and thought, how can I convey this? What can I do with Photoshop to convey my art? And when you see professional fine artists like this, you will never think first when you see their image, they used Photoshop really well, even though they did. That's never your first thought. At least, for me, my first thought is, what does this mean? This is interesting. This has my attention and it's captivating. And yes, it's well done, but you don't even think about how well done it is because you're thinking about the meaning behind it. Let's look at our last artist for this video. Martin Stranka does really beautiful art. Composite photography work. If you see through here, you can tell that clearly, right, these images couldn't exist in the real world. Some of them maybe more than others, but they're using compositing techniques within Photoshop to create these images. Going online and finding inspiration, finding what really resonates you or what really catches your attention is so important because it's such a useful resource to really discover yourself and what you connect with this art. If you go to behance.com, this is run by Adobe, and it's an awesome website where artists from around the world post their work, and you can discover what other people are doing. If you click on the little search icon here, if you just click on it, it'll take you to this search page, and you can then filter the work on Behance by like medium. So you can look at photography. If you go to creative fields and then photography, you can take a look at other photographers' work. So on here, you can like projects. You can also follow artists so that you can see the work that they're posting and stay up to date with what they're doing. And I have some favorite artists, some of them we just talked about, that I follow, and I'm able to see their latest and newest work and find inspiration in that, as well as just enjoy it as a viewer. So I encourage you to go online and find artists that inspire you. It could be the craftsmanship of the work, it could be the message behind what they're doing. But for some reason, when you see something that you just love, there's a reason you love it. So in the next video, we're going to talk about how you can really identify what aspects of work you love and project those into your own art.